Alpha and Around to the Max is brought to you by Max Auto Clinic.
3 multiplied by 3 is not 33, oh dear, and 2 plus 8 is not 28.
I really don't want my 11-year-olds dealing with calculators. I want to be able to work out concepts by using pen and paper.
Oh, so this here wrong for 11 plus, sir?
Yes, I'm not supportive of that at all.
Oh, no calculator. Alright, sorry then. Let me put it back up. Hi, you are watching Alpha and Around to the Max. This is episode 2. Uncle Jeff says no calculator, so I have to use my brain. What are the tips that I can give myself, my niece, my nephew, those doing mathematics at 11 plus? Uncle Jeff, I'm in trouble.
I think mathematics is easiest in 11 plus. Like, honestly,
Easy?
The easiest thing. I think people get...
That statement adding up, sir.
We end up creating a self-fulfilling prophecy. We tell children it's hard, so they start believing it's hard. I don't know what is hard about it. The same plus and minus and subtraction, division signs and go through the same place value, whatever. I think we also, they probably throw things like word problems. There's no such thing as a word problem, you know. They are problems written up in words. And all children have to remember is when you see these things written on words, get the information and write them down as numbers, and then become a single number problem. A single number.
So go from words to numbers. And you are covered.
You are covered.
So you hear that? There are no word problems in mathematics. So let's subtract out of your brain, take the words, turn them into numbers, and it should add up.
The West Indies cricket team went on tour from April 17th, 2004.
And get me.
And returned on August 12, 2004. How many days did the tour last? And note this word, exclusive of those 2 days. So immediately you start until after the 17th. Now,
okay,
this should be very easy. All you gotta know for children, we know that it starts, so we start from 18th. We know that how many days are there in April? This is time. There are 30 days in April.
Sure.
So after the 17th, we know there are 13 more days in April. So we write on 13.
Oh.
They come back in August, so we know this is April. May has 31 days, right on 31. June has 30. July has 31, and August, they said they came by August 12, but exclusive of that. So you put on 11, and you add that, that's your answer right there. Once you add that, that's your answer. Nothing big about it.
You are serious? You are serious? Master, easy now, boy.
You know,
they look like a foreign language.
And I think once children take the time to read and get the information, put them down in numbers and calculate from there. I think one of the things that we must always ask children to go into the exam being sure that you can have your fractions. Because fractions take up the majority of the maths paper. Not whether it be pure fractions, decimal fractions, or percentages. I say that would take about 55% of the paper. But once you can have fractions, well, you are plain sailing with your so-called word problems, your sets and angles and geometry and stuff, and your shapes.
But you don't want me to use the calculator. No, so what can I do to prepare for it? Those little things I can do at home.
Mathematics is one of these subjects that I call repetitive. You got to practice them and practice and practice.
What prompted you to give back so much to young people? You come to the Pine, lessons free, Bow Road free, all over free. Why?
Well, who am I teaching lessons to? I'm just teaching lessons to the children of people who pay my salary and who 80% of the time, maybe more. I make more money than them. So I don't see how I could feel comfortable taking money in that context. Plus, I was told by a more senior person many years ago, if you are serious about your love for your country, you must identify 4 hours of service. Give 4 hours of service a week. I may not be talented in a lot of other areas, but I feel I can teach children, especially at that level. And I organized to give 4. Right now I'm giving 6. And I'm very comfortable with that. And you know, in life you cannot get paid for everything you do. I certainly don't get paid for everything you do. Otherwise, there are lots of things that you pay for, or you get free, I should say, that you have to pay a lot more for.
There are 2 things I want you to do before we go. One, I know in your press behind you there are a number of books that you wrote. I would like you to tell us just a bit about them. We display them. And secondly, when students set the 11+ exam, they are going to a secondary school, and the people who try to give them the impression schools are better, worse. How do you prepare them mentally for whatever they should encounter?
Well, let's start with that one first. As far as I'm aware, the teachers at every school in Barbados went to the same secondary schools and went to the same universities. I spent 22 years teaching at St. Lucie Secondary School, which is now Darrell Jordan High, and it's the best place I've ever worked in my life. And I do not know that the teachers anywhere in Barbados were better than those teachers at St. Lucie. I want people to take great pride in their schools. I went to Cordersbury. My principal there went to Harrison College, but nobody ever knew. He never talked about Harrison College. He talked about Cordersbury as his boys. As you see, I wear a Cordersbury band.
Yes, sir.
But I wear a Parkinson band too.
Yes, sir.
Because Parkinson to the world, this is my place. No, I'm very happy here. You know, people say that all this stress. I'm not a stressed teacher. I will stand for what I believe in. Even my house, sometimes my wife and I don't agree, but I will still, if I think it's right, it's right. If it's wrong, it's wrong. Right. And she puts me in my place often too. A teacher colleague friend of mine gave this to me, and it said actually want me to acknowledge that I am indeed the Broomer, and I feel good about that. This is a book, Steps to Mentor's English Work, what I wrote a couple of years ago. That still does well within schools. This is a new one that came out last year, my personal preparation guide for combination. This one we just got here. Yes, in both English and maths. You see, that's my cricket stuff out there, which I will always hold dearly. This is the very first book I've ever written. It's called Steps to Mentor's English. Book 4, this is the original one. And the reason why I will always keep this, the very first days I wrote, I gave to my mom. And she was so proud. I traveled from Barbados to New York and presented to her. And she's passed now, but I think the pride I saw in her made me feel very, very, very good. Yes. This is a cricket game show book I wrote called How's That Cricket? And as you see on the front cover, it's Kimar
Roach, yeah. And you were watching him on television, Justin?
Absolutely. He was at school as one of my students, really nice. Top-notch cricketer, and we traveled. I first took him to Antigua to practice at the West Indies team. A lot of people don't know that. At my personal expense. And Corey Cullimore, who was also on that Zanzibar boy, was very supportive. Made sure he got a room for him. So Barthy had to as well. And the rest is history, Ricky Marr. And this is one I wrote last year about bullying. Bullying in schools. Bullying, the new threat to civil society. And it speaks in many ways how identifying bullying, the types of bullies, the impact of bullying, the common myths about bullying, and how to address places where bullying takes place, and strategies for combating bullying in school.
The man of many hats, but the hat that I think people all over have always spoken glowingly about is how he takes the time to help students prepare for the 11+. For Barbados today, I'm Carding the Costume at Dance Richard Only ALFFING. I'm here with the Broomer, saying see you next time.